Welcome to CrashMagic. In this video we've got a trick of mine called Triple Fluke and a Prediction. I've put this trick together based on a couple of other tricks and a little adaptation as well. I really hope you enjoy it, and if you do, stick around to the end because I'll show you a tutorial of exactly how it's done. It's always of course nice to be lucky, but it's even nicer when you can predict that luck. And that's what we're going to attempt to do today. So from a shuffle pack I'm going to make a prediction. Let's just take a group of cards and I'm going to pick one of these cards. Let's go for this one. And so this is my prediction. Now I'd ask you to split the cards into two roughly equal piles and then select one of those piles, absolutely free choice, so we'll use the dice to determine which pile you chose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've chosen 4, which is this pile here, so we'll turn the top card of this pile and based on the value we'll then deal cards from the bottom of this pile. So we've got a 6 here. So we'll deal 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the bottom of this pile. And we've got a 6, but you could have cut the cards anywhere and you might have got a king or a 10 or an ace or an 8 or a 3. Could have been any of those cards, but we've got a 6. Now it would have to be some fluke if this was also a 6. And this was also a 6. So there's our triple fluke, but have we also been able to predict that fluke with the fourth and final 6? Well, I hope you enjoyed that performance, and here's the tutorial, and it's really easy to learn and perform. There's no sleight whatsoever and there's just a little bit of setup at the start. So for the setup of this trick you need the 4 6s. And you put 2 6s on the bottom of the pack, 1 6 on the top of the pack, and then the 4th 6 can go anywhere really. Now we're going to use a riffle shuffle in a bit to maintain the position of the top 6 and the bottom 2 6s. So because of that you don't really want this 4th 6 in the middle, because then it could accidentally end up at the top and the bottom, and we don't want that. So really you want to put this 4th 6 either a quarter of the way down from the top or a quarter of the way up from the bottom either. So let's put it 10, 15 cards down from the top, something like that. So that's our setup. 1 6 on the top, 2 6s on the bottom, and the 4th 6 somewhere either a quarter down from the top or a quarter up from the bottom. So you're then ready to start the trick, and as I say, I would then do a false shuffle, which because of the position of these 6s is really easy. You just split the pack into 2, keeping a note of where the top 6 is and the bottom 6 is, and then if you riffle shuffle the cards together, making sure that you allow the 2 6s from the one pile to hit the table first before you start riffling the other side, and then make sure that the last card from this pile hits the top last. So then of course that maintains your order of 2 6s on the bottom and 1 6s on the top. So at this point you're going to make your prediction, and you do this without showing the spectator, but of course I'll show you the cards here. So we're looking through for the position of that other 6. Now here it is here, but we're not just going to take that 6 out, because what we're going to do is we want to take 6 cards out, a group of 6 cards. It doesn't matter which 6, as long as the 4th 6 is amongst them and you know where in that group the 6 is. So in this case I'm taking 6 cards out and I know the 6 that I want is 3 down from the top. So we'll take those 6 cards out, we'll spread them on the table, and we'll appear to seemingly randomly select one of these cards, but I will of course make sure I take the one that I know is the 6 as my prediction. Now this leaves us with 5 cards, so you can just collect those together and put the rest of the pack on top. Now of course what this does is leaves us with the 1 6 still on top, and now our 2 6s that were on the bottom are now in position 6 and 7 up from the bottom, which is exactly where we want them for the next part of the trick. So we have our prediction, and now we would ask the spectator to cut the pile in 2. Make sure you keep track of where the top pile is, and which has got the 6 on top. And now you're going to give them a choice of either pile. Now this is a bit of a magician's force, and in general I don't like using magician's forces too much because they can seem too obvious. Personally I think this is a good one and is not obvious whatsoever. So they can choose either pile. If they choose this pile, all we do is say we're going to turn the top card of this pile, and based on the value we'll deal down to that number in this pile. Or if they choose this pile, we'll pick up this pile and say, right, we'll turn the top card of this pile, and based on its value we'll deal down to that number in this pile here. And so as you can see, I think that as a magician's force, I think that one's quite clean and it's not too obvious at all. So let's say for example they pick this pile here. We would pick this pile up and say, okay, based on the top value of this card we'll then deal down from the bottom of this pile. So you can turn that over and reveal a 6, deal 6 cards down from the bottom of this pile, 5, 6, and place the rest of the pile down next to it. So we've now got 4 piles like this. You can then, using whatever performance techniques you like, reveal that the top card of this pile is also a 6, and the bottom card of this pile is also a 6, giving us our triple fluke. And then lastly, of course, you can reveal the prediction, which is the 4th and final 6. Well, that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe. If you've got any comments, leave them down below, and see you soon.